Cheers.
How are you, Ellis?
I'm very, very good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. This is my local.
Is it? Yeah, I did think it was your local. It's
I did offer to come to your
you did.
local, but you kindly came here. It's friendly, nice. The barmaid's my next door neighbour as well.
Okay.
I spend many a Sunday here.
I can imagine it's very nice in the summer. Sat out here with a pint or two.
Yeah, that lovely little beer garden down there. I don't know if you saw.
No, I didn't know.
No, that's quite decent. Kids play area as well. So you can sort
Nice.
of. I'm going to take your kids to the park. Waitrose just round the corner, so you can do a little bit of shopping. You're not going to do your weekly shop there.
No, you know it's done their weekly shop at Waitrose.
You can pick up a couple of bits and then go, I'll just pop in here. And also, other interesting fact, on the side there is the post office.
I saw that. I was like, why is there a post office in the pub? That's a very
Why
Norfolk
not?
small village thing, isn't it?
So it can be quite challenging if you go and post merch and stuff like that. Because you go a trip in and you think you have to literally when you go out, you have to see the bar. It's the same door as you go in. There's a door through, so you have to walk past the bar.
I can imagine if you do have problems with alcohol, as the Platten family historically have, and you need to post a letter.
Yeah.
You're probably using Every or Hermes.
Yeah, you absolutely are. You've not been back long in the country. You've been out at the World Cup.
Went to the World Cup, got back 3-4 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Apologies to Jodie for dragging you out here away from.
Oh, and she's got work today anyway, and to be honest, it's probably more of a hindrance for her that I'm home. Really.
Fair enough. Yeah, I get that a lot. How was Qatar?
It was interesting because I went off my own back, whereas like a lot of creators were doing stuff with things that were kind of putting them in nice plush hotels, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, there is if they've taken money from.
Depends what they're doing.
Yeah, if you're taking money from the state of Qatar and then trying to tell people Qatar's lovely, then I don't think you have, not to throw any names in there, but I stayed in the cheapest accommodation.
Okay. Were you in one of those? There was like those big tent worlds, weren't they? Were you one of those?
No, mine was cheaper. So I was staying where the migrant workers were living while building the hotels.
Okay.
So they made that into like a accommodation thing, and they were doing building work right until the last day. Like, bearing in mind, you'd expect it to be done.
Yeah.
But I had to buy earplugs. Like at 3-4 a.m. they're just building stuff or like pumping stuff in for the next day.
It's like they're cramming before an exam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, they haven't done any revision, Qatar, and they're just doing it all at the last minute. What was the vibe up there? Were there a lot of fans around?
It was a weird vibe. I think there was a lot of Argentinians, a lot of Mexicans, a lot of English, and then as Morocco did well, a lot of Moroccans came out. Initially, I didn't see too many Moroccans, but after they got out of the groups, then you saw a lot of Moroccans out there. It was an interesting vibe. It was very much kind of a place where you could tell football wasn't. They sort of said, "Oh, we want to grow football around the world."
Yeah.
Well, I left just after England lost, so there was still the semi-finals and the final of the World Cup to play.
Yeah.
All the stores were taking down the football stuff already. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny one, and obviously there are very strict laws on alcohol. It must be very different for football fans from England. Do you know what I mean? What was that? How did that? Were people just going to like museums and stuff?
Yeah.
What were people doing?
Well, there was actually you could drink if for some reason I don't know how it aligns religiously because I don't understand how it all works. But like you can drink in a hotel. So like what England fans were doing and most other countries were doing, you could go to a hotel and drink. So I did it before England-France, went to a hotel and people were just getting as drunk as they usually would, but they then would only be able to do it in the hotel, then at the ground you couldn't drink.
Yeah, so there were no arrests from England fans or anything like that, which is it just does go to show that if you've got strict enough punishments on the line, people can behave themselves, can't they? Yeah.
Well, there was one time I got stopped by one police officer out there. You know the Euro '96 England shirt that David Seaman won? The multicoloured red.
Oh, yeah.
Someone thought it was a rainbow protest shirt.
Very worried about rainbows. What if you just like rainbows?
I do. I love. Who doesn't like a rainbow?
I like
really?
Rainbows.
So he stopped me. He's like, "Sir, you can't wear that." And I had to get a photo up of David Seaman.
Yeah.
To go like, no, look, this is one of the most famous England shirts ever. And like, he was like, "Oh, I see." I was like, What do you do? When have England ever released like a rainbow shirt?
Yeah, and it's weird. It's a rainbow.
Yeah. What was it like with because obviously I don't know.
Yeah.
What was it like having the World Cup? I feel like people weren't on board with it until Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. Then it felt like the whole world was like, oh, there's a World Cup on.
Do you know, it was at the start. It was very like, hey, this is the problems with this World Cup,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And like even the BBC, they didn't show on BBC One. They didn't show the opening ceremony thing. They did on the red button. They didn't show that. Instead they played videos about migrant workers and stuff like that. So I think it was really well done, in my opinion, sort of thing. And then that sort of understandably drifted off as the thing went through and the tournament got better and better. What do you think of it as a World Cup footballing, Lee?
I think it's the best on the pitch World Cup I've seen in my lifetime. Because I haven't seen... 2018 was great, but obviously there was controversies. But on the pitch, England got to the semis. But I've never seen England do well, really.
No.
And not that we particularly did. We did better than I think against France then anyway. But I think on the pitch, like the shocks, I think Australia getting out of their group was crazy. Morocco was a crazy story. Messi winning it was... The final was just unbelievable as well. And I think that's what a lot of people remember, isn't it, the final?
It felt like it was like a World Cup that was amazing in chunks for me. Like the start of the groups were I found a little bit slow to get going. Last round of group games, amazing.
Yeah.
Second round was just all the teams that caused upsets in the groups getting pumped out.
Yeah.
Then quarterfinals were great.
Yeah.
Semi-finals were out. So I was thinking, alternate rounds here. We're due
A good
an amazing final. We got one.
But do you see I tweeted about it during the finals. Like, if England got to a World Cup final, and this is when Argentina were comfortable, and it was like France aren't getting back into it, but if/when we eventually win a World Cup, I want us to suffer. I don't want to win 4-0. Because you know, as a football fan, the feeling of winning 1-0 and you're going, ref, blow the whistle.
Yeah.
That high at full time is so much better than like a 2-0 win.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's like I've seen Liverpool win a few trophies over the years, sort of thing, but being in Istanbul for the Champions League final 3, that's not just because it's the Champions League, but because of that game, it makes it so much better. Yeah.
Did you manage to sleep after that night? I imagine that, not to be graphic, but if that's... I'm not sleeping for a while.
We had a few drinks afterwards, but I remember being sat there with John Scales, who used to play for Liverpool, we were out with, and him and I were chatting about the game afterwards. I looked around and Neil Smythe, who works for Hashtag, who went to Soccer AM with me, was just at some PlayStation Run DMC rap game, just rapping. And when we were talking about the greatest game ever, it was just going, what are you doing? On his own. Very weird man.
Do you know it's quite odd, not odd for me to be drinking beer. I feel like over the last year I've began to appreciate beer more. I was always told when I was younger, I know I look young, but I'm 25 now, which is mental. I feel like I look younger this year than I did last.
Like Benjamin Button.
Yeah. You should have seen when I was 2. I was
like an old grandpa, yeah.
I this year I've really came to like a beer.
Did you?
That was quite a boring thing to say, wasn't it?
No. It's Robbie Knox YouTube channel, mate. Nothing's too boring for this. What were you? Was it alcohol in general you weren't enjoying it, or was it beer in particular?
No, I'm a big fan of like a dark rum. I like a Kraken. I'm a fan of spiced rum. That's my kind of thing.
Little Jamaican, aren't you?
Yeah.
In many ways.
Look at me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know what it was. Beer, I was always just a bit like, but now. I like beer.
No, this is good because I didn't like beer. When I went through all university, UEA, it was a pound a pint.
Yeah.
Not drinking beer.
Okay.
Drink cider.
Yeah.
Because I think when you first have beer, it's not nice.
It's not nice, no.
But you get used to it, and certainly you get more flavours in beers. Now I particularly enjoy it. But then I moved to Canada, and my boss Adrian, who's a guy from Leicester, we had like a night where it's called food bar nights. It was F up by a round. So if you made any mistake in the restaurant I worked in, you got your name put on a list and you had to buy a jug of beer to have it on payday. But there was no appeal system and you could only put up once. So essentially everyone got put up for some reason pretty much.
Yeah.
So you had to buy around. He said, and I was drinking cider, he went, well, you can't drink cider because there's all this free beer around, sort of thing like that. I was like, no, I don't like beer. He goes, well, of course you don't. No one likes beer, but it's like, you've got to make yourself like beer. So he made me drink a beer every payday, like all bosses should. And within about 3 paydays, I was like, yeah, no, fair. I'll just keep drinking this.
Do you think that's the same with a cigarette? Because obviously we've all tried a cigarette. God, don't arrest me.
Someone's getting cancelled.
But you don't like the taste. But I imagine that's the same. It's the same vein, right? Where after a while, I imagine you do like the taste, or you just become so dependent on it.
I don't know. I've only smoked one cigarette, and that was for a sketch on Soccer AM. I've never chosen to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
Even trying it, sort of thing like that. So if I get like lung cancer, I'm 100% suing Sky.
Sky.
Yeah, for that. It's mad, that, isn't it? Can you imagine turning on TV now, seeing Saturday morning TV, and there's someone just smoking a cigarette in the studio?
Why did you not use a fake one?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, wasn't given the option.
Yes, I feel like that's Sakurai era. If you turn on Saturday TV, a lot of that stuff is happening now.
And for very good reasons in many cases. It's absolutely correct it's happening now. But yeah, I don't know. I think most foods you can make yourself like. Like if
Yeah.
you're not allergic to something, like I didn't like olives, but I noticed that people who liked olives loved olives.
Yeah,
like there
it's a
wasn't
big
like
thing, isn't it?
It wasn't just like olives are all right. They'd be like, oh, I love olives, and I thought I want to
you
be in the
love
love
olives?
olives team.
Yeah.
So I just made myself eat olives, and now I
Do you love olives?
Yeah, I mean I don't think I'm as much as a natural olive lover, but I do love a good olive.
Do you like Peep Show? The
Yes.
show Peep Show? Like the scene where Dobby stuffs her mouth full of olives. That makes you feel a bit
Yeah,
sick.
I
Because
can't-
they're
I
having a
can't remember
picnic
it
where
in a while.
Jez is trying to confess his love to Dobby and Mark's trying to propose to Dobby. But
Oh, that rings a bell.
and then like
yeah.
Mark brings olives, or she likes olives even though she didn't used to like olives, then she shoves them all in her mouth, and then
like that.
the saltiness of that. Or
At the minute, I'm working on eggs.
eggs.
my
You're not a fan of
project.
eggs?
No, do you know what I like? The yolk of a fried egg combined with HP sauce. Try this. Do a fried egg.
One look of disgust
Do a
on my
fri-
face.
no, right. Do you like HP sauce?
No.
Okay.
Although actually,
You might try
I'll tell
it.
you what, I might grow to like HP
Right.
sauce.
This is a good entry to HP sauce, right? Do you like egg yolk?
Yes, but I don't like a hard egg yolk. I
No.
like a runny egg
So
yolk.
get yourself a runny fried egg.
Yeah.
Break the egg open, combine it, just swirl it around with a bit of HP sauce. The greatest sauce.
What do you put it on?
Well, you just have it with a full English breakfast sort of thing. So I'll have the egg and do this sort of thing. But traditionally, I'd eat the yolk bit, but I wouldn't eat the albumen.
What's it?
The white
Is?
bit.
I just call it the white.
The white, yeah, I wouldn't eat the white bit. And so I just dip other things like sausages, bacon, or you know what goes
Yeah.
in a what breakfast is. But I would,
Cocoa Pop.
yeah, any of that stuff, yeah, orange juice, should put it in. But so now I'm like, do you know what? I'm in my 40s. I should eat eggs.
They're good for
They're
you.
quite good for you. Loads of breakfast recipes have eggs in them,
Yeah.
so you're really limiting. If you try and if I buy a cookbook, if you try and buy a cookbook and look at the breakfast section, most of them have got eggs in them.
Do you know I haven't eaten breakfast for about 2 years. It's weird, isn't it?
Wow. Like,
That's the revelation there. That's your thumbnail and title.
unreal. So what? Talk me through it. What's the thinking?
Well, not to get too downbeat, but I suffer with body dysmorphia.
Okay.
So it's a big mental thing for me to skip that meal. For some reason, that then means if I eat a bigger lunch and dinner, it doesn't feel as bad mentally for me, which I know is mental. I've said mental quite a few times there. But for some reason, that helps. But I don't know. And
have
it's
you always
been-
had body dysmorphia?
since I was about 8, because my mum used to call me fat quite a lot.
Does she?
If she's watching
That'll
me.
do it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you should come to the gym with me and Alfie.
I do go to the gym. Alfie made me feel self-conscious about the gym the other day, obviously. So obviously, you know, Alfie's an attractive man, isn't
He's
he?
an attractive
yeah,
man, he
he's,
is,
he's,
yeah.
he's been watching this. He's been sat there going, I'm not really, but he knows he is as
yeah,
well.
he does.
Of course he knows he is.
Yeah.
But
Got a little smile, hasn't he?
yeah, he's got a
Yeah.
good smile.
Talk about Alfie Indra here.
Yeah, Alfie.
So don't show him now.
No other Alfie. If you're another Alfie watching this, we're not talking about you.
No.
So I go to the gym, but I was telling Alfie what I do at the gym, and he went, "But you're only working out your back." So I was like exclusively doing exercises.
You got this ripped back from behind you. Look, oh my God, look what a hug at it. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I was exclusively doing back exercises, but that's purely because the push machines are always taken. So like, I do the
Right.
lat pull down, and then the one where you pull it towards
Yeah.
you, and then basically every.
You're going to have a basically shredded back. I like it.
But what I did in Qatar was, I decided I'm going to do press ups every day to not be so depressed that I'm on my own in this prison accommodation. So, so at the start of Qatar, I would do 10 press ups, have a break, another 10 in the morning, so I'd do 20. And then I'd do it in the evening, so I was doing 40 a day. And by the end of it, I was able to do 100 press ups a day.
That's amazing.
So it was like a nice progression. I've noticed no difference, but that's at least a push. So I've at least worked out some of the fun.
Yeah. I really like doing weights. And I don't like running in the gym
No.
because I'd rather run outside and see things.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have to run. I find it really depressing. But I like that you can see progress if you track it on an app
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
all the things you do. You can sort of go, oh, I'm getting more powerful.
Yeah, it's
I
quite
like
nice,
that.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't think no one's looking at me and expecting me to be a powerful man, and I'm not. So like I feel like I think if you look at me in the street, you're probably thinking he's quite feeble, and you'd probably be right. So I think that's probably
I think you could pass as being in shape. Do you know what I mean? Sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like, just despite what your mum says, you're not fat. But I think you, yeah, I'd say he looks in decent shape.
I'll take that. Decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your plans for Christmas? Not to tell. I'm quite curious to know what your Christmas day consists of.
So, I love Christmas.
Yeah, me too.
I'll get that out of the way right now. I will get up. I imagine I will wake up before the children.
What? Because you're so excited for them.
Partly and partly because I always do.
Do you have the half an hour yourself? Is what you told me about before.
Robbie hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of time. I like to get up. I like to go to bed fairly early and get up early. I'd like to sleep longer, but I can't. I just wake up, and then I have a little bit of time. So, like, sometimes I'll like clean the kitchen. Sometimes I'll do a
Nice.
little bit of work, reply to emails. Sometimes I'll play like a video game or something like that. So this morning, I played like an hour of Cyberpunk 2077 on the PlayStation 5.
Is that good? Because I heard at first it wasn't great, but I'm guessing they've made
So
it.
I waited. I really was
Yeah.
excited by it, and then I waited till they made it. They
Yeah.
finished it basically. Yes, it is good. It's not the best game ever, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's quite sort of deep. The missions are good. There's good storytelling in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is good.
Do you know I've been playing? I got time to. I bought the new Pokemon game for when I went to Qatar, and I've actually loved it.
Have
It's
you?
been like because I used to
What's
love
this on like a Switch? or
on the
something?
Switch. Yeah. So when I grew up, I loved Pokemon, but then I sort of you grow out of it because
Yeah.
you do. But then I bought this one. It was like an open. It's what I wanted it to be when I was a kid.
Oh,
So it's kind of quite a nice nostalgic thing
nice.
playing that.
Okay.
And obviously, Football Manager, obviously. But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so continue with your Christmas.
So I will wake up. My children will get excited and open presents and stuff. Hopefully Santa will have been.
Yeah.
We'll do all this sort of stuff, and then I will make a full English breakfast.
Nice.
Hopefully with a fried egg with a little bit of
Yes.
just to get the runny yolk, make the dream sauce.
The dream
Yeah,
sauce.
I'll do that, and then just sort of chill out in the morning. I might, do you know what? I might have a little glass of Bucks Fizz at this point. Sort of like that.
Bucks Fizz is a staple, isn't it?
I
Never
like
any other day of the
That-
year.
For breakfast, yeah, I like a little bit of that because it's sort of like orange juice. You're getting your vitamin C in. You do that, so I'll probably start. But I like to start drinking fairly early on Christmas Day, but at a low level. I'm
Yeah,
not
you don't want to
hammered.
peak before lunch.
No. So and then around midday I'll come here.
Yeah.
I did last year. And it's open for 2.5 hours. Last year I bumped into Darren Huckabee, Norwich City football legend.
Loves a drink.
Loves a drink. Did 6 pints in 2.5 hours, which is quite impressive. Because you really, when you got against the clock, you
Yeah,
really
you've got to
sort of put
pile
them
'em
away. In fact, Bev, my daughter, went home, and me and the boys, at the time 7 and 4-year-old, hung out here and carried on. I was drinking, they weren't really.
Bev went home, but the Bevs were here.
Yeah, exactly. And then went home, and as I'll do this year, and then make Christmas dinner for about 5 o'clock. So in the morning, I'll do a lot of I'll peel the potatoes,
gonna
I'll
say,
prep
yeah.
any veg. There's no one else coming around. It's just the 5 of us, so it's really just managing oven time. I think
Yeah.
that's key. We've got the oven, and we've also got the grill doubles as another oven, so you've got enough stuff to.
Do you have an air
play
fryer?
with. I've got an air fryer, but the bit it's broken. The air fryer itself works, but the bit where you put the basket in, the safety bit that it lets it know that the basket's in, isn't there. So I've not thrown out the air fryer. It doesn't work. But what I need to make the little knob bit
To make it believe it's...
to make it,
Yeah.
because if I press it with my finger, like if I cheat and go like it thinks it starts working, it thinks it's on. Obviously, I can't just sit there with my hand in an air fryer.
What about like a cable tie, almost like a climbing apparatus where you could wrap it round the machine, with like
it's
a
just
clip.
It's just so basically there's the dish
Yeah.
thing that goes in the frying basket, if you will, and there's a little raised little bump, little dot there,
So it
and
needs-
that's just not getting enough purchase
Yeah.
on the sensor bit, the push it, because it used to go and push it up. I don't know what's happened. So I wonder if maybe the answer to this is to get something like super glue, just put
Yeah.
a dot on there, and then
then-
leave it to dry, then do another dot, slowly
Slowly build it
build
up.
up a big enough thing for the sensible, because I did love the air fryer, the limited time the air fryer worked.
It's brilliant. I love our air fryer. I think it's because Jodie's job requires her being out, like usually in the hours that tea will be done. So I sort of do it, and the air fryer is so great for like a lot of things like roast potatoes, chips, sweet potato fries, anything really that you would fry.
Yeah.
Carrots. I do the carrots in the air fryer sometimes. So parboil them.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell you what I've got back into recently that I haven't done for a while. I made the other day. I was like, oh, why don't I do this weekly? Jacket potato. Because I used to, for ages, when I was younger, my mum would do jacket potatoes in the microwave.
Okay.
Not as good. Just
no,
not,
you need to oven
just
them.
not as good.
Yeah.
You don't get the crispiness on the outside is the best bit.
You want it to be crispy on the outside and not stodgy on the inside, so then you swallow it, because sometimes that's what I'm not a fan of a new potato, because the texture of a new potato makes you feel a bit gross.
Okay.
But
well, for this, what I'm doing is I am getting my potato,
okay,
getting a bit of olive oil and rubbing it all around,
yeah,
massaging the potato if you will. Do this, bit of sea salt, like the flakes.
Yeah.
Sprinkle that over. Again, just rub that around evenly in the oven for 90 minutes or so.
Do you tin foil them?
No.
Yeah, because there's some people are either on the tin foil side or not on the tin foil side.
I don't feel the need. If you have it, if I was doing at a higher temperature, maybe I consider it. But I'm doing like not too high, maybe 190 for fan oven. That is 190 in a fan for about 90 minutes.
Well, there's no cost of living crisis in the Knox household.
Well, you know, local supermarket's a Waitrose, mate. I think we're doing. We haven't had the bill yet, so we'll find out. Yeah.
I love your YouTube channel. I love that
Thank you, mate.
your audience will sit here loving the fact you're talking about these things. I think that's brilliant.
Like, I like that there's literally anything.
Yeah,
going
you can do a topic, and I love how.
I love that you just do what. There's no standards. There's just literally anything.
But what I mean, like in terms of what I do, I'm always chasing like some sort of, and you don't need to. Like you're proof that you don't need to. I feel like YouTubers get so bogged down in trying to, and like 1 out of 10. You know, I feel like for you, because you've been around the media space for so long, you'd sort of have a more long-term look at it rather than like this.
There's the slight thing though is that, as you know, with brand deals, they look at how many views your last.
Yeah, exactly.
It's no longer about subscribers; it's about how many views your last video. So it does sort of. Because I've had a few videos recently that haven't done that well. People are sort of going, "Well, I don't know if I can pay that." I'm going,
yeah,
you can, mate.
You can pay it, and you also have to just go, well, I'll put you into a video I know is going to do well. So it's like,
but then they don't. Sometimes,
they don't believe that,
and they don't always. I mean, you put them in, but they don't do well. And you're like,
But for someone like you, I imagine so we've both worked with a beer company.
Yep.
I imagine for you, even if my video did more views, you're converting far more people because beer is a focus on your content.
And in general, I think I do get quite good. People do message me from brands and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe how many people buy this."
It's like I said to you about Air Up. You convinced me to no free. They haven't paid for this one unless they have. This is sponsored by.
No, they've not. That might be negotiating in a minute. So we might sit back on the channel.
You convinced me to actually want an Air Up, and that wasn't even. I messaged you, I think, about it while watching your video. I was like,
I should have brought you one because I've got loads at home. I still use Air Up as my bottle at the gym. But let's not go on about Air Up because they're not paying for this coverage. But that's the thing. I wouldn't do something that I don't think is generally good. Generally, people pay for. You've got to have standards.
I have done a raid deal.
Yeah, but that's fine.
But you can be quite tongue in cheek with that.
And also, it's not costing people anything to play the game. I mean, people can pay money for it, but I've got a policy of I will do anything that's all right, but I don't think it's awful as a product. But or literally anything that isn't going to cost people money.
Yeah,
so, do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah. I mean, the best ones. You must have done a Manscaped. Not to be talking about loads of brands here, sorry, but you've done a Manscaped deal. No. The Manscaped boxers. They need to stop the razors and just focus on the boxers. They are the best pair of boxers I've ever worn, and that is.
You're on the take here. You get a bit.
This next brand I want to talk about.
yeah, marvelous. God, have you I'm a bit full for my HelloFresh. That's so convenient.
I did a HelloFresh deal. So have you.
Yep.
I don't want to talk ill of a brand, but I would rather cook from scratch, personally.
That's interesting to hear your opinion and your opinion alone. Also, as a man, one video into a 3-video deal, we'll be having none of this. Hello, fresh slander, please. Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, what's your Christmas day going to consist of?
So I go to Jodie's family's.
Nice.
Wake up, do the presents, and I feel a bit awkward during that period because I am, to be honest, I feel like, and like we've been together 6 years. I'm basically part of the family. Like they are my family. So it's like obviously my family, my dad's side, I'm close to them as well. But like Jodie's family, you know what I mean? Like I'm part of the family, so it's not weird. Not that no one said it was weird, Ellis. So then probably have a whiskey.
Now you've said it.
Yeah,
like,
now it's weird.
It seems weird. Like it wasn't before, but now it was weird.
So every year Jodie gets me she gets me like the chocolate orange. They do like the little segsations. They're like the little different ones, the little ones. So they're not little oranges. They do like the little segments of them. There's the popping candy one. There's like a toffee one. There's dark chocolate.
You're talking Terry's chocolate orange?
Yeah, they're called segsations.
What? I love Terry's chocolate orange. I've never heard of this.
Really?
How long has it been going?
Like since I was a kid.
And it's made by like Terry's.
Yeah. So they do like little.
It's
ones.
not like some knockoff.
No. It's made by Terry's. And it's called segsations. So she gets me them. And then I'll have like a whiskey with some of them for my breakfast on Christmas Day. And then like me and Jodie.
So you're breaking the no breakfast rule for segsations.
Yeah, for segsations.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. So like, aim
pop down Waitrose after this. Yeah.
Aim to be half cut by dinner, which will then sober me up. And then I think my highlight of Christmas Day, to be honest, is the evening bit where you're full, but you're eating chocolates, you're having maybe some cheese, or sounds quite middle class, and like some drinks, and you're getting merry again, and just maybe play a board game, like Escape from Colditz, or Jodie's sister's really good at, what's the one where you're in London? Oh, it's going to really irritate me, but she's never lost at it, Jodie's sister.
You're in London?
You're in London, and one person's on the getaway, you have to try and catch them.
I've not played it. Do you like a board game?
I do like a board game.
Right. I love a board game.
Yeah.
I want to start a board game night.
Okay.
Do you want in?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So the idea is we meet up, however regularity, and play board games. Because I've got some board games. No one will play with me.
Really? Jodie be well over that as well. She loves
brilliant.
a board game.
Okay,
yeah.
That's good. Like occasionally, I'll get my wife to play Grand Austria Hotel with me.
Not familiar.
It's a battle to become the greatest hotelier of the Austrian Golden Age.
That's great. Of course it is.
It's good, up to 4 players. Very good. But I've got a game called Scythe.
Okay.
It's supposed to be very good. Got about 40 minutes into a game, and everyone's like, I don't want to play this. It's too hard.
I won't play Cards Against Humanity.
Okay.
I feel like once you've played it once, you've seen all the punchlines.
It's a different sort of thing. It's like a party. I'm talking like a board.
I want to play a proper board game. Yeah.
Right, it's on. Right, Jodie's coming around.
Jodie will be round.
Right, that's all the encouragement I needed.
Yeah.
We're starting this in January.
I reckon you get Alfie will come round.
Alfie will do it.
Yeah, Ali.
Yeah.
Is Ali publicly known? Maybe cut that.
So.
Do we have to
I
cut
think it's
that?
fine. Yeah.
People know Alfie as a
I don't
girlfriend,
think Alfie. Yeah. I don't think Alfie's like
Does it ruin
trying to remain.
Does it ruin his brand if he's not this eligible bachelor?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's a lot. His brand's already in the mud, so I don't know. Yeah, I think Ali's got. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so I want to do this. I've bought my kids' board games for Christmas. We've got, because a lot of kids' board games, the traditional board games, are rubbish.
Yeah.
Like Monopoly. I remember reading someone talking about there's a really miserable way to win Monopoly all the time.
And you can do it without fail.
Unless someone else knows the thing. Basically, there's certain rules that there's a limited number of hotels in there.
Yeah.
No, sorry, there's a limited number of houses, and what you essentially do, you never upgrade to the hotel.
Okay.
And you just get set built, because then you just keep it on that, and then no one else can get the hotels because they can't get enough houses because the housing supply dries up. It's like the current state of the country. Yeah. People can't afford to get the housing ladder, and you then just grind it out of your house where everyone else is at Christmas Day like going, this is not fun. Going, no, I'm going to win.
Just a proper idiot.
And you just grind it out, and they can't they can't do anything about it.
Bit of a Pulis Stoke
Yeah,
way
it
to
is.
win.
It's very much the Pulis of ball games. This tactic. I'll send you the. I'll find a article about it. But yeah,
Speaking of the housing ladder, the plan is to try and get on the ladder next year, me and Jodie.
nice.
I'm kind of anticipating surely the market is going to go down. No one's got no one's got money. Do we?
I don't have money.
No money.
A house, but I haven't got money.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully. Yeah,
I mean, it'd be good. But also, being self-employed, I imagine it's a bit more of a hassle to get accepted for a mortgage.
Mortgage broker. I can pretty much a good mortgage broker.
Yeah.
In fact, I got it from Saunders, Spencer FC's brother.
I saw him in Qatar, but we didn't talk. But I saw him at the England-France game. He was about 2 rows behind me.
He put me onto a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
I mean, this is prime Robbie Knox YouTube channel. This is, yeah. And yeah, she actually. So yeah, if you got someone who can, it's quite hard. I think if you do it yourself, if you get someone who knows stuff, they just know what to ask and just send them the stuff and they'll sort it out.
I feel like you're a very well-connected man. Like, I feel like I've got a video I'm planning to do, right? So my favourite player growing up was Luciano Becchio for Leeds.
Yeah.
My plan is to try and meet him. That's
Okay.
not to... I'll probably use this clip in the video.
Someone's going to nick that idea. Yeah.
That's the big one.
Thogton will be doing that next week. Yeah.
But
okay, good.
I
Yeah.
imagine you'd probably know someone who somehow knows him, weirdly. I imagine your
Okay.
contact book on your phone is so stacked.
I've got phone numbers of everyone who was famous from like 2002 to 2007. I just had them on my phones. I don't know if they're still their numbers or not, but there's like,
The Gallaghers?
yeah, but I don't know if it's still a number. No, but if I just pick a random letter.
B.
B. Okay, so this is in surnames. Phil Babb.
Duncan Bannatyne!
Duncan Bannatyne, Mike Balls from Goldie Looking Chain. It's very much of an era. Julian Barrett from the Mighty Boosh. You see, this is the sort of bit that we're doing. Joe Barton,
Claire Basham, Ross Basham.
people from my old village in Kent. So bad examples to pick.
BBC
Peter
Motion
Beagrie,
Gallery.
Peter Beardsley, James Beattie.
James Beattie. Beef. Who's Beef?
Beef's golfer, professional golfer.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So what would happen if you just called Noel Gallagher right now?
Brian Blessed. I imagine he wouldn't pick up. It might not be his number anymore. I don't know.
That's funny, isn't it?
There we go. So yeah. So I've got weird.
Do you ever have like drunken nights, where you call random
No.
people? But I'd be terrible at it.
No. Partly because it's almost one. None of them will know who I am because it's so long ago,
Yeah,
and they've probably changed their numbers. A lot of them.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah,
Imagine.
I've got a story about my number. Probably be quite a nice. It's a very me story for people that know. Like in my family, will be like, this is so Ellis. So to be in Qatar, you
Yep.
needed to use the local SIM. So I had to take my
Right.
SIM card out. But by doing that, he thought I'd moved to Qatar and cancelled my SIM card, which is craziness. But I thought, you know what? I know where I'm going to get home anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So I landed back into England, still with the Qatar SIM, which meant I couldn't use my phone in England.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll be home anyway. I've got a new SIM on the way.
Yeah.
I'll sort it when I get home. So I get to my car. I'm trying to cut a long story quite short. So I get to my car, and I know the way from Heathrow to home. You just follow signs for like Cambridge and
Yep.
easy. So I got about 30 miles from home, and as you come towards Thetford, I
Yeah.
knew there was a petrol station there.
Yep.
So I'm about 30 miles from home, and I've got about 20 miles left. I was like, and the road was closed,
Yeah.
and there's a petrol station just before that turn
Yeah.
off that all the pumps were shut at.
Yeah.
So then I'm in a position where it redirected me through Bury St Edmunds.
Right.
Every petrol station there is shut, and it gets to I've got 5 miles left, and I'm stuck in Ingham, which is like 20 miles from home.
Right.
At 2 in the morning, -2.
What are we talking? Is the light on?
My car says it's got 5 miles left.
Is the light flashing?
Yeah,
Whoa.
but like my car tells me the exact
This
miles
is so
I've got.
hot. Keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
then
yeah.
so then I pull over 2 in the morning at this random pub in Ingham, like banging on the door, looking through it, see if they've got. Tried to connect to their Wi-Fi, couldn't. It's like I said, 2 in the morning, -2. I've just been in 28 degrees in
Yeah.
Qatar. An hour and a half passes, so I'm like trying to flag down cars, and eventually I had to call the police. The most
What do you
because
call it? 999.
I caught a 999 because you can't call any other number on this SIM card. So I couldn't call Jodie to let her know where I was. I couldn't call family members to let them know where I was. And the police come, and they're like, what's going on? And I was like, so I had to explain the whole story to them. And long story short, the police escorted me. So that the closest petrol station was 9 miles away, but I had 5 left. So they escorted me to a petrol station, and somehow my car made it. But that was the story. I got 4 in the morning. I was like, get back to Jodie, and Jodie was like, where were you? I was worried sick. I was like, I was trying to contact you, but I couldn't. I was like, just stuck. And I was on the phone to this switchboard in Qatar. Like, I need my phone. They're like, you need a Qatari bank card to top up the SIM card in England. I was like, why would I have a Qatari bank card? So who has one of them?
Wow.
So yeah. Police escort, got me petrol, but it's quite sobering to know that I could probably have just driven. It's weird that, but when I saw 5 miles, I just took it at face value.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can. I remember seeing some YouTube thing where people were saying they went to the bit where it was 0, and then they got like another 30, 40 miles after the 0.
Really?
Yeah, so you
Could
might
have got home.
Right. You could have got home, but then you are going to have to get petrol at some point. So it's good to just don't get that situation again.
No, probably fill out for like 4 Wentways or something going forward.
Yeah.
That's a very Norfolk commute.
Yeah. You don't want to pay. You don't want to be paying Snetterton prices.
No, God, tell me about it.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. No, I like it when you've gone so close to the wire on petrol that when you open the petrol cap, you get
Yes.
That's when you know you're like a bad boy.
But I sort of tell myself when I'm doing it that like I'm doing the smart thing to burn off the fumes that like. You know, the bad petrol is what I call it, which is not bad petrol, it's just petrol.
Bad petrol?
Well, the one that's been in there for a while. I imagine the bottom of the tank. I've actually showed you the bottom of the tank.
You think the petrol's gone off? You've got some fresh petrol from the farmer's market. I'm not putting that in. I remember doing some work years ago for Texaco.
Nice, that's the one.
They were sponsored the championship, and me and Fennis from Soccer were going around grounds filming like players and managers interviews. It's a good fun job, lovely people involved with doing this. But at the end of it, when it finished, I spoke to the guy from the PR company and went, I'm sorry, who is buying petrol on brands? Like, you're never going along and going BP, I'm not putting that piss in my car, we're a fucking Shell family, mate. I mean, who buy the cheapest or the one closest?
Sainsbury's, Morrison's. People say you shouldn't use supermarket petrol. What's that all about? Apparently it's worse for your car. Apparently it's worse. Apparently it's not filtered as much. You never heard that?
No.
Maybe I've made it up.
Seems a weird thing to make up. You might have done that, yeah.
Didn't Soccer M back in the day did a series called Away Days, right?
Oh, mate, yeah.
I think Fenners would go to the ground. It was like he'd be like this really cockney geezer. He's like doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Keep my nut down or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't watched Soccer AM in a while. I feel like a lot of people say it's bad now without watching it, but I haven't watched it, so I can't comment.
No, I haven't because I haven't got Sky. But I find I think we did I think this Texaco thing. One of the strands was called Away Days, and then Fenners just then took it.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. So Texaco, get on Soccer AM soon.
Yeah, I think Away Days. The problem with Away Days is I enjoy doing the shirt stuff more. But Away Days is a good channel name, really. If I changed the channel name to Ellis Platten once for a week, and sort of realised that because it was getting to a point where it didn't irritate me, but I've just said it did. But like people they'd meet me and call me Away Days, just call me Ellis. You know what I mean?
All right, Away Days.
Yeah.
But Jodie's calling you away. You got your present Away Days. Oh, I love the thought that Jodie calls you Away Days. Love that. Amazing. Well, Ellis,
we've had our point.
We've drunk our allotted pint.
Very
Legally,
nice.
We cannot carry on talking, I'm afraid. It would break what is the most tenuous of content strands around the Christmas period. So thank you very much for coming all the way from your home to, honestly, a minute from my house. In fact, I was only slightly late, and I'd got here and then drove back because I forgot the tiny tripod. So
yeah, it would have been what we had done without it. The show couldn't have went on.
Put it on a pint glass or something. I don't know.
Maybe we'll film the board game nights. That could be quite good content.
Yeah.
You could be like get multiple camera angles.
Yeah. Watching me absolutely crush you at hoteling.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
My little bit of advice for that: don't neglect the favour of the Emperor when we get around to playing it. The Emperor of Austria. When he comes round, you don't want to have forgotten about him because just keep that in the back of your mind.
That sounds like the first line from a movie that a villain would say.
Yeah, well, no,
don't neglect the favour of the Emperor.
It's a minor thing in the background, but it can stitch up. Every now and then the Emperor comes out and like inspects the hotels or something like that, and you have to sort of just be mindful of that in the background. But,
be mindful of the Emperor.
I think we'll make that our first game, Grand Austria Hotel.
Okay, sounds good.
Amazing.
Should we do cheers?
Cheers. Can you choose nothing in?
Me and Jodie do a cheers. So do you do tits, ass, ass, tits? So tits, ass, tits.
Cheers.